Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening on a special evening show. Right here on KPTV, we have Mr. Bill Monroe Jr., owner-operator of Bill Monroe Outdoors Guide Service. Bill, it's great to see you, man.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
I am too.
I know that you've had a chance to get out and have some fun this week, and I know that you're working. Okay, I get that, but you love your job. He's a professional guide. How they do it, they better love it, right?
I love my job.
Well, it is a good job.
I really do love my job.
How long have you been guiding now?
This is year 18.
18.
I know. Weren't we just youngsters?
I was gonna say, man.
Because we used to fish when we were young together, remember?
Before beards and before gray.
Before kids.
Oh, God.
I got it.
Well, it's been a while, so you've had enough time to obviously establish yourself in the region. This week, being the first week of June, it's an interesting time, right?
It is, isn't it?
We've got a lot of things that have changed. You still have springers around. You got summer Chinook that are moving through.
Yep.
I didn't even mention this earlier, but steelhead fishing down in the lower sections of the river has been ridiculously good, depending on if you can get one of those spots, right?
Which is where they seem to be holding. They're not crossing the dam.
That's correct.
So
they go to a lot of those tributaries down there.
Yep.
Now, you had a chance to go do some salmon fishing this week. How did it go for you? And what I would call kind of a transition time frame.
I transitioned over to this salmon period. You know, we went to the anchor. We switched over to plugs and spinners. The coon shrimp thing and pro trolls kind of died off. That was your telltale end of springers trolling season.
Right.
Yeah, I went out about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We hooked 6. We landed 4 of them. We got to kill 3 of them, and we were extremely happy to be able to be doing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good day.
No, that's
to get
especially
6
some of
bites
the reports.
with plugs and spinners. I'm feeling good about it.
You were on the anchor?
I was on the anchor.
You?
I know. Believe it or not, that anchor thing happens. I like to troll mainly, let's be clear, because you can't really anchor in the ocean.
He likes to spend time out there. If you ever do get a chance to go fishing with Bill, he's got one of the biggest sleds you're ever going to get into. So it's very ocean friendly. Yes. Okay, so what made you do that, though? Was it specifically because your typical 360 rig wasn't really working that you decided to drop the anchor, or was it because the water had come up?
And that's really the telltale. The temperature and the water came up.
Right.
And once that spill starts happening, things start changing, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna break out the anchor. Water temperatures are telling me that the herring bite obviously died.
Sure.
We had to take a break from that, and we went back out. The Willamette, tough. We'll go over that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's time to try something that we know is a period where we transition over to certain things.
Sure.
And that was plugs and spinners.
So up high, down low, in the middle, somewhere in between?
Well, see, that trip was in the middle.
Okay.
Our shad fishing trip yesterday, which is kind of a hidden gem of a resource, even though it's considered an invasive species. There's more shad in this world than there are salmon.
Oh, by a long shot. Mainly because they're not managed. Okay, I'm just going to throw
there it is.
I got to dig. I got to throw that dig in at some point.
But no, as you can see, there was Grant, and we took kids out to go shad fishing because we were really looking at what are other options this time of the year. And when you think kids fishing, you're just like, oh, we're going to take them trout fishing.
Right.
Well, that right there is where it's at. Shad fishing is this hidden gem. You can go out and see this beautiful area, but 2 different areas, the Willamette or the Columbia.
Right.
And it's non-stop action over and over. I mean, we had doubles, triples.
Right.
I had Grant McComey because his style of putting people into the outdoors is unique. And we were just looking for something to be able to show everybody out there that this is one of those things where you can catch a fish in the middle of a mountain range.
Right, literally.
We went up to Bonneville. It was the thing. Yeah. And it's just special.
It's one of those fisheries that he said for kids, right? Or the kids really enjoy it.
Yep.
I'm a big kid. Because I love pulling on shad.
I have a good time doing it.
I mean, it's just a ton of fun. It's one of those fisheries, though, that, like you had mentioned, it is underutilized because there's certainly not as many people that can go after them that can. But it's not as easy, though, as just dropping an anchor and catching shad one after the other. It is something that you've got to get the right spot, be willing to move
a little bit, know the depths, and where I was, you could literally see where there's fast water, medium water, and really not moving water. And it's literally within 15 feet of each other.
Right.
And we look for that medium water, you know, and that was where it was.
Did you have to play with baits much to get more bites than, say, another bait? Or?
Once we started messing around with green grubs, for instance, we threw out green grubs and instant fish.
Right.
And another rod, we were like, okay, let's try a brass Dick Knight spoon.
Right.
Nothing.
Interesting.
We threw out a wee Dick Knight with chartreuse and glitter on it. Instant bite. Those 2 rods were going off all day. We're like, okay, the other 4 rods we can experiment with all day just to try it, you know? And it was just, I call it shad roulette. I don't like to catch shad with a net.
Right.
If we're going to get the shad, I'm going to lift it in, and we're either going to get it or we're not.
Oh, you're nicer than me. I won't even
let
let my daughter will attest. I won't let a shad in the boat. It's just that simple.
It has to go instantly in the cooler.
They do not go in my boat. I am not interested in the smell of those things on my sled. It's just that simple. Okay, but let's back up a little bit. I want to continue to talk about salmon. We've got options that are out there. People are catching springers on the Columbia, yes. On the Willamette, yes. There's some fish that are being caught, but there's a little bit of an overlap. There's some summers that have been caught. Now, just a handful that I'm aware of personally.
Yes.
But you can tell the difference. What would you look forward to here the next couple of weeks before that 15th date, which doesn't mean anything for us specifically below Bonneville, but between now and then, are there areas of the river that you would be willing to spend more time in than, say, another?
So the test fishing that occurs, you know, all through the month of spring and all through the run, it stopped June 3rd. They kind of quit testing about what is in the river. They want to know what's in the water.
Sure.
Well, it showed that there was a diet. The springers slowed down towards the end of May, like we knew was going to happen. Well, they did a June test net, and that was the last one. It had a ramp up, and that ramp up goes to show that the summer fish are starting to infiltrate into the Little River.
Okay.
And that's a good thing, which means that if there's late springers or early summers down in the lower water, hopefully all these runs that are late are starting to show up. Me personally, I want to fish a little bit down low just to begin with. I kind of want to concentrate in that lower water. Middle water would probably be good. St. Helens would be good. Portland, going to be a tough gig. It can be good. Government Island, I don't think is going to go. Bonneville's, it wasn't that good, just to be honest.
Yeah, you were up there along other boats fishing
for
salmon.
Shad fishing, yeah. And we didn't see very salmon because you can still catch salmon below Beacon.
Oh yeah, right.
The day we were there. And they didn't do that good. So we just want to concentrate on something like that. That's probably what I would look to do before the June 15th time frame.
Sure.
Then I'm going to concentrate on what I find, and then I'm going to repeat that.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, definitely don't want to leave fish to find them, especially if you find them in an area that's consistent.
I mean, you look at the Willamette, you're catching these summer Chinook in the harbor usually, past years, and that will go the whole month of June.
Right.
Into July.
Well, that's a whole other topic, isn't it? When you're talking about the Willamette, there's been a lot of questions about the Willamette, right? What's going on with, well, now it's actually got to 10 grand. That's not a huge number based on what they're forecasting, especially to this date. But June is a real thing. The last handful of years, June has become the old April, I guess might be a way to put it. So we're going to cut to a break. I want to come back. I want to pick his brain on the Willamette. Some of the questions have been, why is it still open? Is it going to stay open? Are they going to do anything different, right? We'll find out what Bill thinks on that in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us here on KPTV. We'll be back in just a couple more minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. And by Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective.